In this video, I'll show you how you can embed custom fonts into your application. If our Digitron 4000 is supposed to look a little techy and science fiction-like, the font it uses should as well. Like in this finalized version. I want the title and the buttons to have a non-standard typeface. In Android, there are 3 custom fonts: serif, sans serif, and monospaced. You can change these fonts by selecting the text view you want the typeface to change. Scroll down to the property typeface and select one of the suggested values, sans, serif, or monospace. In our case, that just doesn't cut it. We want the whole show, we want a custom font in there. For the title and the button, I've picked this Juice Bold font. Since this font is already bold, I can happily scrap the bold definition for this font. Let's have a look if we've created this here. Text style. If it's not here, then it's probably in the styles. Styles XML. There it is. Get rid of this, delete the line, save. Okay, so much for that preparation. Now go to the font folder of your operating system. A window that's on drive C, in the folder Windows, the folder Fonts. On Mac, you can go select your font book, right-click on the desired font, and select Show in Finder. Normally, you should be able to drag assets from the Explorer right into Eclipse. But I warn you, don't do this. Things will go wrong because this is a special folder in Windows, and Eclipse has some issues with dragging special files like fonts and font books into some folders. So first of all, let's right-click in Eclipse on Asset and create a subfolder called Fonts. Then go to your Fonts folder in Windows, right-click on the font, select Copy. Select your Assets Fonts folder in another window of the Explorer and paste the font right in there. Right-click, paste, and there it is. Because this font is supposed to carry a license, I copied that one as well. So in Eclipse, I select the Fonts folder and hit F5 to refresh the contents. There it is. Unfortunately, as of today, we're not able to assign that typeface through the XML, so we have to do it through code. So from the source folder and the package of our application, double-click on main.java. In the function onCreate, enter a new line and enter init typeface. Control S saves. We'll complain that that method doesn't exist. Now just hover over this squiggly line and wait for the tooltip and click on Create Method Init Typeface. I'll delete this line, I don't need it. And now I create a reference to my typeface. It's sufficient to type F and then hit Control Space to reveal the code hints, except typeface. Arrow is called TF. Typeface dot create from asset. That's the static method of the typeface class. Then key down on the quick tip pop-up to get assets. Accept this. And then we need the path. Put this in a new line. And that's quote fonts / juice space bold.ttf. And then we will need references to the text views which we want to slap the font on. So let's define text view, txt title is find view by ID, r id dot panel title. Now it complains because this returns a view and I need a text view. Hover over the squiggly line and go down to Add Cast to Text View. And then we create the references to our buttons. Button btn sensors equals find view by ID r dot id dot btn sensors. Again, it will complain because it doesn't know button. Hover over it, select Import Button, and then hover over this query line at Find View by ID, select Add Cast to Button, and then copy the line 2 times to make it read btn staff and btn staff in the ID, and the same for starlog. Now we have a reference to our typeface and references to our text views and text view subclasses, which is button. And now all we have to do is assign that typeface by calling txt_title.setTypeface, tf, that's okay, btn sensors, setTypeface, tf. I copy that line again 2 times, and btn staff, btn starlog. And that's it. Well, the problem is that we can't see this in our static view in the graphical layout. So we'll have to start this in the emulator. Click on the triangle with the run symbol, DT4000, select the emulator, click OK. Let's have a look. And there it is. Mission accomplished. So common pitfalls when using custom fonts is the kind of fonts. You should be able to use almost any kind of TrueType font and OpenType font with TTF or OTF at the end. Be extra careful when copying the assets. I'd rather rely on the Explorer and the Finder than on Eclipse because that's a known issue. So with all that under your belt, you're ready to use custom fonts in your application.